Now, Lord Coe has issued a staunch defence of athletics' governing body, the IAAF, claiming allegations of doping within the sport are a declaration of war. Lord Coe is standing in the IAAF presidential election later this month, and he says it's time to come out fighting after leaked data from 5,000 athletes led to allegations in the Sunday Times that blood doping was rife. Well, Coe has said it is a declaration of war on my sport. There is nothing in our history of competence and integrity in drug testing that warrants this kind of attack. The fight back has to start here. We cannot be portrayed as a sport that is in any way dragging our heels. This is absolutely an attempt to destroy the reputation of the athletes and our sport.
Well, we're joined now by former World Championship bronze medalist Donna Fraser. Donna, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us so early. First of all, what do you make of Lord Coe's comments?
Well, at the end of the day, you know, we have to support our sport at the end of the day. You know, he's in that position to do so. At the same time, you know, it's been a long time coming that these allegations will eventually come out over the years. I mean, going back to the 80s with these Germans, it's been year on year out that, you know, this problems arisen. So it's a shame at the end of the day. You know, it's a sport that I love. You know, it's been around for so many years, this whole drug issue, but eventually it has to come through the cracks at the end of the day.
Relating to these specific results, how concerning is it that the IAAF didn't probe the results when they knew about them and tackle it head on?
It is very concerning, but, you know, for athletes themselves, you know, you just want to go out there and compete. That's exactly what I did, and so many athletes do the same. What goes on behind the scenes, we don't actually know what's going on, but we expect the support from the IAAF to push that and come through with what's come out now. So, yes, it's a difficult one.
So when the IAAF doesn't probe such results and doesn't take action, what impact does it have on clean athletes like yourself?
It's very disappointing. You know, we want a clean sport. Athletics is my love. It's the love of many other athletes that I know. And we want the support. Those that are at the top, you know, you want that to filter down so you know that you can get out there and know that this is a clean sport. If that's not there, then, of course, you lose that confidence. But at the same time, you're out there to perform, and that's the focus. Just
remind our viewers of the numbers in this report that was released on Sunday morning. Suspicious results from a third of medal winners in endurance events at major championships over an 11-year period included 55 golds. That's a lot, isn't it? I mean, and within the context of those numbers, we've heard people mention anomalies such as training at altitude or illness that they can affect those results. Are they that significant, given the numbers here, do you think, those anomalies? Well,
I'm no scientist at the end of the day, but, you know, the statistics are there. I can't say any more with that, but yes, it is a significant difference. But for example, for us as athletes, we get a list of the amount of substances we're not allowed to take. You know, it's up to the athletes to take that responsibility. But in terms of the altitude training, yes, it can have that effect. But, you know, like you said, the statistics show something completely different.
So you get that list. Whose responsibility, by and large? I guess the buck stops with the athlete, but the coach has a degree of responsibility as well, doesn't he?
Everyone does. You know, the athlete is the person that has to take that responsibility. If you're not sure, then consult the athletics doctor or any sports doctor that's involved with you. But you have to take that responsibility. If you're unsure, don't take it. It's as simple as that. And that's what our federation tell us to do that.
When you were competing, how aware were you of other athletes taking performance-enhancing drugs?
You know, over the years, you know what athletes you're competing against, and if their performance, the performance will just go sky high from year on year, and you're thinking, well, hold on a minute, you know, this athlete was only running 55 seconds last year, now all of a sudden they're running sub 50. Where did that come from?
Suspicion, is it?
It is, but you know, you have that suspicion, but in the end of the day, if you don't have that core evidence, you can't do anything about it. You go out there and do your utmost best and perform to your best of ability.
Well, we heard, didn't we, renowned doping scientist Robin Parisot to say, this was his quote, he'd never seen such an alarmingly abnormal set of blood values. So many athletes appear to have doped with impunity, that's without any retribution or correction. How widespread do you think this is within athletics?
It's out there. I don't know how widespread it is, but like I said earlier, you know, it's been going on for years. We know as athletes that it's a bit suspect. Where did this performance come from? But, you know, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. Would you go as far as to say it's fairly common from your experience?
I wouldn't say common, but I would honestly say, hand on heart, that the UK Athletics Drugs Testing Agency is on point. You know, through my career, I was tested constantly, and I know many athletes that were also tested constantly, and that's blood and urine as well. So our testing system is in place here in the UK. Yeah. I can't go as far as say that's the same across the world.
When you say constantly, how many times in a calendar year?
Oh, my gosh. I'd lose count. Sometimes on my doorstep, sometimes at competition. Out of competition, you have to sign up to that anyway. So as an athlete, you know, you take that responsibility to say, yes, I'm willing to take part in this testing.
Well, of course, the implications of these results are far-reaching in terms of the times that were set and those who missed out on medals, such as yourself, yes. Of course. Now, you were part of the GB quartet that finished fourth in the 4x400-metre final at the 2004 Athens Olympics. The US won gold. Then 6 years later, it was revealed that Crystal Cox, who ran for the US in those heats in Athens, was indeed taking performance-enhancing drugs at the time of those Olympics. How do you feel about that and what needs to be?
Extremely frustrated. You know, it says in the rule book if one person is disqualified due to drug taking, the whole team gets stripped of that medal. So myself and my teammates were extremely frustrated. We went through the whole rigmarole of trying to get that medal that we truly deserved and didn't get very far. We didn't get the support that we needed, and then the appeal was thrown out. So it's extremely frustrating because it is in the rule book. Everyone should have been stripped of that medal, especially recently it's happened to the men, and the men got moved up and got a medal. So I can't see why it didn't happen for us.
Do you think it will happen? Do you think you'll get that medal? I mean, obviously these are suspicious results at the moment, but that was proven.
Yes,
for that one in 2004.
Absolutely. You know, I can only have hope, and you know, hopefully justice will prevail. But what can I do at this stage? You know, we've done what we can do, and the press supported us, but unfortunately, the powers that be said no.
OK. Well, President of the IAAF, Lamine Diak, has said that they will clean this up. How much confidence do you have in that statement?
Half and half, 50-50. It needs to be cleaned up. The sport really does. It's a great sport, and you know, it helps youngsters come through. It helped me through my career. So, you know, from a youngster coming through the ranks, it's something that's helped me in terms of my soft skills and just getting out there and being confident. So it needs to be clean. And what precedents are we setting for our youngsters and our future athletes?
OK. Well, Donna, thanks very much for joining us on Sky Sports News HQ this morning. Thank you.
Pleasure.